me a minute, Paul. Twelve 414.
Yeah, 12:4:14. That's correct.
12:414. Tada bhumir ganda gunam grashanti apa oda palve rasta ganda to prithvi pralaya tvaya kalpate. Translation. As the entire universe is flooded, the water will rob the earth of its unique quality of fragrance, and the element earth, deprived of its distinguishing quality, will be dissolved. Purport. As clearly explained throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, the first element, sky, possesses the unique quality of sound. As creation expands, the second element, air, comes into being, and it possesses sound and touch. The third element, fire, possesses sound, touch, and form, and the fourth element, water, possesses sound, touch, form, and flavor. The earth possesses sound, touch, form, flavor, and aroma. As each element loses its unique distinguishing quality, it naturally becomes indistinguishable from the more subtle elements and is thus effectively dissolved as a unique entity. Text 1519. Epam rasam ato tejas taliyanti tanirasa Rasate tejaso rupam veyosa rahitam tada leyate chanile tejo vayokam grasate gunam savai vishate kam rajam tetascha nabasho gunam savdam Krashite bhutadir nabastam anoleyate taijasas chendriyani anga devam vaikaro gunai aham grahistya ahankaram guna satwadayaschatam Rasati vyakritam rajan gunan kalani choditam natasya kalya vayavahi parinam namadayo guna anandanantam avraktam nityam karanam avyayayam. Translation. The element fire then seizes the taste from the element water, which deprived of its unique quality, taste, merged into fire. Air seizes the form inherent in fire, and then fire, deprived of form, merges into air. The element ether seizes the quality of air, namely touch, and that air enters into ether. Then, O king, false ego, in ignorance, seizes sound, the quality of ether, after which ether merges into false ego. False ego, into the mode of passion, takes hold of the senses, and false ego, in the mode of goodness, absorbs the demigods. Then the total Mahat Tattva seizes false ego along with its various functions, and the Maha is seized by the three basic modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. My dear King, Parashit, these modes are further overtaken by the original unmanifest form of nature, impelled by time. The unmanifested nature is not subject to the six kinds of transformation caused by the influence of time. Rather, it has no beginning and no end. It is the unmanifest, eternal, and infallible cause of creation. Text 2021. Naya Travachona Manona Satvam Tamorajova Mahad.
You can hold there. Just still on to. Lawan, can you continue to text 2021?
Okay, horrible. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 21. Am I copied in clearly, Prabhuji?
It's very good now.
Okay. You're still breaking up, but that's okay. Nayatra Vachuna Manuna Sadvam Tamurajuva Mahadadayumi Napana Buddhina Indriya Divatava Nasanis Vishak Kaluluka Kalpaha Naswapna Jagrana Chatatsu Nakaham Jalam Uhu Anilogine Okaha Samsupta Vachunya Vad Aprataksyam Tanmula Bhutam Padam Atmananti Padam Amamanti, not Amamanti. Translation. In the unmanifested stage of material nature called pradhana, there is no expression of words, no mind, and no manifestation of the subtle elements big. Nor are there the moods of goodness, passion, and ignorance. There is no life, air, or intelligence, nor any senses or demigods. There is no definite arrangement of planetary system, nor are there present the different stage of consciousness, sleep, wakefulness, and deep sleep. There is no either water, earth, air, fire, or sun. The situation is just like that of complete sleep or of voidness. Indeed, it is indescribable. Authorities in spiritual science explain, however, that since pradhana is the original substance, it is the actual basis of material creation. Okay. That's pradhana. Pradhana has nothing inside of it. Text 22. Leya prakrityu prakriko hi isha yaktayo yada saktaya sampraliyanti laivasa kala vidyuta vajuta. Translation. In this is the annihilation called praktika, during which the energies belonging to the Supreme Person and his unmanifest material nature, disassembled by the force of time, are deprived of their potencies and merged together totally. Text 23. Bodhindriyata rupina Jnanam bhatitat ashrayam Drishyatva yakti rikabyam adi antavat avatuyat. Translation. It is the absolute truth alone who manifests in the form of intelligence, the senses, and the objects of sense perception. And who is the ultimate basis? Whatever has a beginning and an end is insubstantial because of being an object perceived by limited senses and because of being non-different from its own cause. Purpose. The word Yadva indicates that all subtle and gross material manifestations are made visible by the potency of the Supreme Lord and again become invincible or unmanifest at the time of annihilation. They are therefore in essence not separate from the source of the expansion and withdrawal. Text 24. Dipas chaksuscha rupam cha jyotishu na prithak bhavit evam dehi kani matrascha nasyo anyatam madritat. Translation. A lamp, the eye that views by the light of the lamp, and the visible form that is viewed are all basically non-different from the element fire. In the same way, intelligence, the senses, and sense perception have no existence separate from the supreme reality, although the absolute truth remains totally distinct from them. Text 25. Buddha Jagaranam Swapnaha Susupti Iti Uchyati Maya Matram Idam Rajam Nanatvam Pratyag Atmani. Translation. The three states of intelligence are called waking consciousness, sleep, and deep sleep. But my dear King, the variegated experience created for the pure living entity in these different states are nothing more than illusion. Purport. Pure Krishna exists beyond the various stages of material awareness. Just as darkness vanishes in the presence of light, so illusory material intelligence, which is experienced as normal perception, dreaming, and deep sleep, completely vanish in the present presence of consciousness, pure Krishna consciousness, the constitutional condition of every living entity.
All right, so you can hold that. And that's 26. All right, so continuing from text 26. Yata jaladhara vyome bhavananti na bhavanti brahma idam tatha vishvam avyayavi udapyaya. Translation. Just how in the sky come into being and are then dispersed by the amalgamation and dissolution of their constituent elements, this material universe is created and destroyed within the absolute truth by the amalgamation and dissolution of its elemental constituent parts. Text 27. Satyam hi avayava prokta sarvabhayagamiha vinarthena pratiyeran patasyevanga tantava. Translation. My dear King, it is stated in the Vedanta Sutra that the ingredient cause that constitutes any manifested product in this universe can be perceived as a separate reality, just as the threads that make up a cloth can be perceived separately from their product. 28. Ya samanya visheshabhyam upalabhyeta sa brahma aniyoniya pasrayat sarvam ariyantavad avastuvayat. Anything experienced in terms of general cause and specific effect must be an illusion, because such causes and effects exist only relative to each other. Indeed, whatever has a beginning and an end is unreal. Purport. The nature of a material cause cannot be perceived without perception of the effect. For example, the burning nature of fire cannot be perceived without observing the effect of fire, such as the burning object or ashes. Similarly, the saturating quality of water cannot be understood without observing the effect, a saturated cloth or paper. The organizational core of a man cannot be understood without observing the effect of his dynamic work, namely a solid institution. In this truth, not only do effects depend upon causes, perception of the cause also depends on the observation of the effect. Thus, both are derived relatively and have a beginning and an end. The conclusion is that all such material causes and effects are essentially temporary and relative, and consequently illusory. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the cause of all causes, has no beginning or end. Therefore, he is neither material nor illusory. Lord Krishna's opulences and potencies are absolute reality, beyond the interdependence of material cause and effect. Text 29. Vikhara kyayat mano, Vikhara kyaya manopi pratyag atmanam antara na nirupyoshti anurapi shakchek chit sama atmavad. Although perceived, the transformation even of a single atma material nature has no ultimate definition without reference to the Supreme Soul. To be accepted as actually existing, something must possess the same quality as pure spirit, eternal, unchanging existence. A mirage of water appearing in the desert is actually a manifestation of light. The false appearance of water is a specific transformation of the light. That which falsely appears as independent material nature is similarly a transformation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Material nature is the external potency of the Lord. Okay, so you can say. Hello, Prabhu, you're still muted. All right. Well, we're not hearing, so why don't you continue from text? Are you there?
Yes, Babuji.
All right. So I'm not hearing from Lloyd, so go ahead from text 30.
I can't hear you properly. Could you repeat what you said?
Lloyd, so can you please continue from text 30?
Okay, yeah. But you break it up bad. Maybe that's why Lloyd couldn't hear you. We can't hear you at all properly. Okay, I'll go with text 20. Okay. Text 20. Nahi satyasya nanatvam avidvam yadiman yati nanadvam chidurayo yadvaj jutishu vatayo eva. Translation. There is no material duality in the absolute truth. The duality perceived by an ignorant person is like the difference between the sky contained in an empty pot and the sky outside the pot, or the differences between the reflection of the sun in water and the sun itself in the sky, or the differences between the vital air within one living body and that within other bodies, within another body. Text 31. Yatha hiranyam bahudha samyati nibihe kriyabe uyavandara vatmasu evam vachubi bhagavan adhuksaju. Uyak yayate lukika vaidikai janane. Translation. According to the different purposes, men utilize gold in various ways, and gold is therefore perceived in various forms. In the same way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is inaccessible to material senses, is described in various terms, both ordinary and Vedic, by different types of men. Purport. All those who are not pure devotees of the Supreme Lord are basically trying to exploit the Lord and his energies, according to their strategy of exploitation. They conceive of and describe the absolute truth in various ways. In Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the absolute truth presents himself as he actually is for the benefit of sincere people who do not foolishly try to conceptually manipulate their Supreme Godhead. Text 42. Text 42. Yata Gyanu Vika Prabhavu Vika Dasito Hi Akamsa Bhutasya Cha Chakshusastamaha Evam tu aham Brahma Gunastad Ikshito Brahmam Sakasyatmana Atma Bandhana. Translation. Although a cloud is a product of the sun and is also made visible by the sun, it nevertheless creates darkness for the viewing eye, which is another partial expansion of the sun. Similarly, material false ego, a particular product of the absolute truth made visible by the absolute truth, obstructs the individual soul, another partial expansion of the absolute truth from realizing the absolute truth. We have to read that again to understand that. Text 43. Gyano yadaka prabhavo vidiyati chakshu swarupam ravam ikshati tada yadahi ahankara upadhit atmano jinasaya nasyati tari anusmarit. Translation. When the cloud originally produced from the sun is torn apart, the eye can see the actual form of the sun. Similarly, when the spirit soul destroys his material covering of false ego, By inquiring into the transcendental science, he regains his original spiritual awareness. Purport. Just as the sun can burn away the clouds that prevent one from seeing it, the Supreme Lord and He alone can remove the false ego that prevents one from seeing Him. There are some creatures, however, like owls, who are forced to see things, to see in the sun. In the same way, those who are not interested in spiritual knowledge will never have the privilege of seeing God. Text 24. Ya daivam itina vaivika hitina maya mayo hankaranatma bandhanam chitivachutamanu bahu vatistati tam ahu adyantikam anga samplavam. Translation. My dear Parikshit, when the illusory false ego that binds the soul has been cut off with the sword of discriminating knowledge, and one has developed realization of Lord Achyuta, the Supreme Soul, this is called the Atyantika, the ultimate annihilation of material existence, called the Atyantika. The ultimate annihilation of material existence. Text 55. Nityada Savabhutanam Brahman Dinam Parantapa Utpati.
I have no problem.
All right.
Text 35. Text 35. Nityada sarva bhutanam brahmadinam parantapa upati palav yavika shuksham gan samprichakshate. Translation. Experts in the subtle workings of nature, or subduer of the enemy, may declare that there are continuous processes of creation and annihilation that all created beings, beginning with Brahma, constantly undergo. Text 36. Kala Shrota Jivanaso Hiryamana Manasya Nityana Parined Naminam Avastasta Yama Palaya Hitava. Translation. All material entities undergo transformation and are constantly and swiftly eroding by the mighty currents of time. The various stages of existence that material things exhibit are the perpetual causes of their generation and annihilation. Text 37. Anadyantavatinena kalaniswara mutena avasta naiva drishyante viyati jyotisham eva. Translation. These stages of existence created by beginningless and endless time, the impersonal representative of the Supreme Lord, are not visible, just as the infinitesimal momentary changes of position of the planets in the sky cannot be directly seen. Purport. Although everyone knows that the sun is constantly moving in the sky, one cannot normally see the sun moving. Similarly, no one can directly perceive his hair or nails growing, although with the passing of time we perceive the fact of growth. Time, the potency of the Lord, is very subtle and powerful, and is an insurmountable barrier to fools who are trying to exploit the material creation. Text 38. Nityo naimiti chas chaiva tata pakrito laye ayantishkascha katita kalasya gatir idrishi. Translation. In this way, the process of time is described in terms of the four kinds of annihilation: continuous, occasional, elemental, and final. Text 39. Ita Kuru Shrishta Jaga Vedator Narayanasya Kalva Satwa Dhamana Lila Kataste Katita Samasata Karchinyanina Najope Abedatum Isha. Translation. O best of the Kurus, I have related to you these narrations of the pastime of Lord Narayan, the creator of this world, and the ultimate reservoir of all existence, presenting them to you only in brief summary. Even Lord Brahma himself will be incapable of describing them entirely.
All right, so you can hold there, Prabhu. All right, so text 40. Samsara sindhamati dushtaram utitirsha nanya prabho bhagavata purushothamasya lila katha rasa nishivanam antarena pumso bhaved vividha dukkha davarditasya. For a person who is suffering in the fire of countless miseries and who desires to cross the insurmountable ocean of material existence, there is no suitable boat except that of cultivating devotion to the transcendental taste for the narrations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although it is not possible to completely describe the pastimes of the Lord, even a partial appreciation can save one from the unbearable miseries of material existence. And I'd like to read that again. Although it is not possible to completely describe the pastimes of the Lord, even a partial appreciation can save one from the unbearable miseries of material existence. The fear of material existence can be removed by the medicine, the holy name, and pastimes of the Supreme Lord, which are perfectly narrated in Srimad Bhagavatam. In text 40, Purana Samita Metam Rishayo Narayano Vyaya Naradaya Pura Praha Krishna Dvaipanyaya Sa. Long ago, this essential anthology of the Puranas was spoken by the infallible Lord Narayan Rishi to Narad, who then repeated it to Krishna Dvaipanya Vyasadeva. In text 42. Savai Mayam Maharaja Bhagavan Badarayana Imam Bhagavatim Prisham Samhitam Veda Samitam. My dear Maharaj Parikshit, that great personality, Sri Vyasadeva, taught me the same Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal in stature to the four Vedas. And text 43 is Imam Vapyati Asau Sutta Rishivyo Naimeshalaye Dirga Shatre Kuru Shreshta Samprishta Saunakadibhi. O best of the Kurus, the same Sutta Goswami who is sitting before us will speak Bhagavatam to the sages assembled in the great sacrifice at Naimisharanya. Thus he will do when questioned by the members of the assembly as headed by Shaunak. And thus ends the reports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to the 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Categories of Universal Annihilation. So we're going to continue with chapter 5, text 1, on the following reading. So we started Bhagavatam 1 to 4. It's 42. Okay, so basically this is manifestations. Now it says Sanga's manifestations are made visible by the potency of the Supreme Lord and again become invisible or unmanifest at the time of annihilation. They therefore in essence not separated from the source of the expansion and withdrawal. So basically all this situation is coming from the and there's a lamp, an eye that views the light lamp, and a form of object that is viewed, all basically non-different from the element. So the eye is using light of the lamp to form. Lamp is in the same no reality. Totally separate the absolute truth is so, but this is I everything is within him. Now, all see the transformation of that with reference to the Supreme Soul. And to be accepted as actually existing, which is eternal, unchanging existence. So there is no material duality in the absolute truth. That duality is perceived by an ignorant person, and that's like the difference between the sky containing an empty pot and the sky outside of the pot, or the difference between the reflection of the sun in the water and the sky itself, in the sun itself in the sky, or the difference between the vital air within one living body and that within another body. So it says the absolute truth has no material duality. Although the duality is perceived, right, it says by an ignorant person. It's like the difference between the sky that is inside of the pot and the sky that's outside of the pot. Actually, it's the same sky. There's no difference. But we see it as difference. And the difference between the reflection of the sun and water and the sun and sky. Without the sun, there is no reflection. So basically, the whole thing here is that everything has to be manifested by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So although a cloud is not a product of the sun and is also made visible by the sun, it nevertheless creates darkness for the viewing eye. And it's another partial expansion of the sun. So the sun produces the cloud, but the cloud blocks off the sun. Similarly, the material false ego, which is the particular product of the absolute truth, is made visible by the absolute truth and obstructs the individual soul, the partial expansion of the absolute truth, from realizing the absolute truth. Then it is only by the special mercy of the Lord that this can be removed. Just like the cloud can evaporate, it can be evaporated by the sun, and then everything becomes clear. So by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, material false ego can be evaporated. So when the cloud originally produced from the sun is torn apart, the eye can see the actual form of the sun. And similarly, when the spirit soul destroys his material covering of false ego, by inquiring into the transcendental science, he regains his spiritual awareness. So, and here it says, of countless miseries and who desires to cross the insurmountable ocean, that devotion to the trans for the God pastime. This is as a cultivating devotion to the transcendental taste of narrations. That's given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Bhagavad Gita. So to develop that taste, one has to practice this, and gradually one develops this taste. And that's the only way for a person who is suffering in the fire of countless miseries to cross that insurmountable ocean of material existence. So I think we have a little practical example of that in our lives and our practice of devotional service. So we can stop here tonight. Does anyone have any questions or comments on the subject matter? All right, so if not, we can stop here and Prabhupada. Go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No problem, just turn on the mic. That's all.
All right, so you just said. All right. All right, so this time we can stop here. Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Hari Hari Hari.